So, Dwight, what about you? I mean, you do what you do. Are you mostly by yourself, or do you do workshops with other artists, or?
Well, right now I'm working. I actually am a member of the Currents Gallery too, right
Oh,
down
okay.
the street.
Okay.
And I have a show up right now. It's my feature show, and it's up through the 14th, I believe.
Okay.
And of February, and I'm doing the Art Harvest tour again next year.
Okay.
And I did it this year, and also teaching a drawing class at Currents Gallery.
Oh, okay.
And basically, I'm looking for other representation as well. I'm just looking around, as I look further afield, maybe find other markets and see where I can put my work.
It's so interesting because I think, some types of art sort of lend themselves more to being with other people, like obviously, photography or, maybe video production, that kind of thing. Painting or sculpting, I mean,
I'm pretty much by myself when I'm working.
It's you alone in the studio, and that's one of the things that I notice about, artists that are true professionals. I mean, that's really what they're doing with their life, is you tend to spend a lot of time alone.
Well, yeah, I have to leave the studio every day, and sometimes I find I spent the entire day by myself, and I go, okay, I got to get out of here. So
You seek out contact with other human souls.
Other humans.
But it doesn't bother you. I mean, you like that time that you spend alone.
Yeah, because you actually, that's when you actually focus on what you're doing. As opposed to in the past, I would you work for a couple hours on something and then forget what I was doing and come back to it. I can maybe spend an entire day working on something.
Do you put music on to get you in a certain kind of mood, or?
Yes, I do.
Or if you really want to do something big and angry, you can put on the political ranters, or.
Yeah, I have a variety of tapes and CDs.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. So. If you want to bring out your playful side, you put on a joke tape, a humorist.
Sometimes. Well, actually, I was listening to a joke show the other day on the radio. It was quite fun. Then there's other times I play some jazz. Other times I'll play some classical. Sometimes I'll play some punk rock. And it depends on what I'm feeling like. So.
But do you find that like it helps you sort of prime the pump a little bit?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Every now and then, especially when there's for instance, maybe a lot of carving to do on a large wood sculpture, like the one piece that's in your gallery that's very heavily carved. Was largely carved with loud music on because it just helps you go.
But do you carve with like a little chisel?
Yeah, hitting with a big mallet.
Okay, like
over
that.
And over and over.
Okay.
So you get the beat going.
This isn't like the Chainsaw Bear or anything.
No.
Okay.
No.
But it's pretty physical work.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Like once you have the idea, maybe like I'll do a drawing for a sculpture, and you have the idea, and that's a fun part of it. But then there's the work of actually making the sculpture, and a lot of that is just going through the wood a lot of times, paying attention to what you're doing, and it's the craft of carving it out.
So how did you learn how to do that? Was that part of what you studied when you were in school?
In school, yeah.
Okay.
So I actually, I took woodshop in junior high school, right? But we didn't do anything like that. But
you make the bowl or something, and
yeah,
the bookshelf, the little bookend thing.
Yeah, but I learned most of my woodshop skills in art school, and I learned how to weld in art school. Learned how to do some electronics in art school.
Really?
Yeah, that's all part of that. There are all kinds of different things that you need to know to be able to create.
So probably the tools that you're using in terms of the sculpting of the wood are the same tools that people have been using forever.
Yeah, pretty
to
much.
do that.
Pretty much.
I was listening to this thing on the radio this morning, and they're talking about that any technology that's ever been developed never goes away. That somewhere, somebody, someplace in the world, somebody is producing everything that's ever been produced. And I thought that was interesting, and they were talking about, well, what about a Stone Age, Stone Age hammer with stone? They said, no, there's a company in America that still makes those. Oh, really? Okay, so that's interesting to think that you have this art craft that goes way, way, way back.
Yeah. So, and people have been making things out of wood and stone forever. Okay, just the tools get sharper, which is nice.
Yeah, carbon edged or something. Interesting. Have you had the same tools? Have you been working with those particular tools for years and years?
Actually, I have 2 gouges and my large mallet that I got when I was 18. So.
Wow.
It's a while back. So, and I just, actually for my birthday last year, since I was stopping teaching, a friend of mine actually bought me some new ones, brand new ones, and they're beautiful, so they work great. I use them both now.
So it's like sort of to launch your new life.
Yeah.
I think that's fabulous. Do you find yourself like leaning toward anything in particular in terms of your wood carving, like animals or?
Well, no, my carvings are also more abstract, and what I really do is I take ideas from nature and from culture and from things that maybe look like a figure or maybe look like they're from a wave or from a tree or something like that, and then I take those forms and sort of accentuate them or turn them or in some way alter them.
So they kind of morph into something different.
Yeah, and like that's the title of my show. It's called Randomness and Ardor because it's kind of a joke, really. In some ways, randomness and order is what I write in my artist statement. That's what my work is about. Is when those two things come together. And there's a lot of passion in my works, so I included the name Ardor. So.
I like that. I like that. Wow. Now let's talk about your tools of the trade. What kind of a camera do you prefer to use?
Well, I use Nikons now. I started out, of course, doing film because that was the only thing available.
That's what we had.
Had a girlfriend a while back, and she had a digital camera, and I fell in love with it and decided film was not the way to go anymore. So
Okay.
went strictly digital, and it's easy to manipulate. I can see what I've shot right away. Plus, it's easy to have it already digitized, and I do some manipulation with photos in like Photoshop, and a couple other programs. But a lot of my stuff is I shoot it, and that's the way that it was in nature. I do a lot of wildlife and scenic things. There may be some color enhancement, but generally it's all, that's the way I see it in my mind, and that's what I try to capture.
So kind of like the Ansel Adams approach or something where the composition is the art.
Yes, yeah, I try to compose the shots, and just because of my background, that's what I'm, in my mind, that's what I know I need to do, so I try to get that in the shot, from the beginning. There are, of course, other shots that are taken, randomly, and then you can come back and fix it, and let's say fix it in post.
I just thought of this, and it was on somebody's Facebook. It was on somebody's Facebook page, and this friend of mine was telling me about a guy that she'd met. Oh, he's fabulous. We're so in love. It's going to be the big thing of my life. She said, just go on his Facebook page, and you'll see a bunch of the photographs. So okay, so you go to the Facebook page, and then how people just post up all the snapshots, whatever. Well, there was this one picture, and when I first looked at it, I thought, why in the world would they put this picture up? Because, okay, it's the guy, and it's at harvest time. So he's holding his hands like this, and he's got, like this perfect bunch of grapes in his hands like this, okay? But what you actually see when you look at the picture is standing behind him with her head cut off out of the picture is a very voluptuous woman in a low-cut top, and that's like, what is this picture? And finally you go, oh, it's the grapes. And it's just funny because when you think about something like that, I'm sure the person who took the picture really was taking a picture of the grapes. It's just, she happened to be in the background, and when you were talking about that, it made me think of it because it was actually funny.
Sometimes
Maybe she planned it.
Maybe she did. Maybe maybe he saw the photo and he's like, that one's going up. But you never know. I mean, sometimes it's kind of random. I think the surprise of what you actually wind up with.
That's true. Yeah.
Some
things you can plan out, down to the last, cross the T's, dot the I's, but then it doesn't work out that way. And a lot of my shots, especially with wildlife, it's you be there in the right moment is a lot of it.
Oh, yeah, especially with wildlife.
Yeah.
Like you watch some nature shows and they get some. I mean, I'm sure that their lenses are this long or whatever to get some of those close-up shots, but you don't know what animals are going to do out there, do you?
That's true.
Like you didn't know that little wood duck was going to go swimming so fetchingly by a koi?
No.
Except that you sat there and watched him do it for 5 hours, and they said, okay, now it's never going to get any better.
Sometimes you do, to get the perfect shot that you want, it takes time. but I have been aware that's like, oh, there's something, shoot it real quick, and it turns out to be a wonderful shot. And then other times you could spend days, composing the shot, waiting for the sun to come up just right. But so I have the whole gamut.
Well, I was thinking about when you were talking about, your early career as a photojournalist or whatever, and you think, I guess probably the picture a lot of people think of as, the Iwo Jima, and you think about the guy that took that photo. I mean, I know, I seriously do know, somewhere in my mind I know his name because they did a big, there was a big article about him online or something, but you think, what a picture. And so sometimes, a person will take a picture and you will completely fade from everything, from consciousness, but that photo, that image that you create, in just a random moment will live forever. It's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yes. I agree.
So I'm hoping that maybe Paul will find those pictures of the gallery.
It's possible.
Mr. Music Man. We'll see.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
That's looking inside the gallery. A lot of, I have it displayed. I've got things, it's not in any particular order, but I've got photographs, tiles from an artist, Wendy Thompson.
Oh, okay.
I have Susan Day's work there as well. A painting of Dwight's in the back, and I have some watercolor paintings as well. Actually, there's 2 paintings of Dwight's
Yes,
there.
there are.
Some clay masks by Mike Santenay. Variety of woodwork. So I got a little bit of everything. I've got candles. I have a lot of my photographs just in a mat, so they're inexpensive. Not
A person
everything is
can
framed.
buy them and frame them if they want to.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's nice.
There's some other work as well. Some glassware. There's little things to go along with the wine market. So little cutting boards that are wood table right there.
That's nice.
And a little
is nice.
wine holder actually there in the corner. So
Okay.
I have a lot of big windows. So I try to move things around just to
It's a challenging space in that
fit
regard.
things in there. But I like the exposure.
That's really true. And whatever kind of a business you have, if it's anything to do with retail, that whole art of display is a big piece of it in terms of merchandising, drawing people in, and what's going to seduce them to go in and buy those fabulous pieces of art that you have in there. So, I mean, that's an art in itself.
It's been
Window
It's been a
dressing.
little bit
Yes.
of a challenge. Just
Yeah.
try to
It's a
draw
challenge.
people in. As they're driving by. But fortunately, there is a lot of traffic that goes by the gallery.
Oh yeah, that's a great corner.
So-
I mean, where you are. Do you want to explain to people, since I think we're almost out of time, but do you want to sort of explain where it is in Carlton?
Yes, it's on the corner of Highway 47 and the Main Street in Carlton. We're right on the corner across from the gas station.
Okay.
It's not the best looking building on the outside,
Yet.
but yet.
But it's charming.
But it's charming. It
And
has its charms.
And say the name of the gallery again?
It's called Melton Gallery,
Okay.
and we're open Thursday through Sundays from noon to 6 p.m.
Okay.
That's pretty much my winter hours, and as the summer comes about, I'll probably be open longer as well.
As the Oregonians come out of hibernation.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the best and most exciting gallery in all of Carlton. And,
Yes.
and it's doing great, I think. I hope it's
Great.
going to
Yeah, business
grow
is
and
doing
grow along with the
And you
town.
know what? I really want to say thanks for being here today, and please do plan to come back and update us, both of you, with what you have going on. So thanks very much for coming.
Well, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Linda.
Yeah.